The Rural Tayside LEADER Programme is part of the wider Scottish Rural Development Programme. It is one of 20 LEADER programmes in Scotland delivered by local action groups that represent the community, voluntary, private and public sectors. The programme was established to help the people of rural Tayside develop a more diverse and enterprising rural economy, build stronger and more inclusive rural communities, and enhance the natural and cultural assets by offering grant assistance to help people fulfil their aspirations locally. Almost £2.5 million of LEADER funding has supported 125 projects that have helped realise local aspirations and make a tangible difference to people's lives. These are just a few of the projects that LEADER has supported.
Five of us got together and formed a community interest company, which ultimately we negotiated a purchase of the business and a lease of the premises from the previous owner. It was a bit of a rush, and initially it was only the five of us that were members of the company. Later on we opened that up to bring in the community, and we now have a very large number of the community who are members of the company now. The money to do all this was clearly initially a problem, and we did receive very helpful grant funding from Scottish LEADER to enable that to go ahead.
It's absolutely essential to the community. We're 12 miles from the nearest town and nearest other bigger shops, and when we didn't have a shop, the whole community just died. It's now the hub of the community. Older people can buy provisions if they haven't got a car.
When the weather's bad, sometimes it can be good because you can come and get you whatever you need without having to go all the way to Blairgowrie, because the roads might not be so good.
Well, it's a central focus, isn't it? It's where everybody meets up is where all the gossip's done.
Definitely. The cafe has really developed, and it's an essential part of the shop. Quite a few of the locals also do come in for their lunch now.
Homemade soup, which is made from the vegetables that I buy, and that's all done by volunteers. So that's really good. The cakes are made by a few of the people in the village as well. I order them, so if you want a cake for a birthday, we can actually do that for you as well.
But it's really helping in the growth of the shop, as in tourists will come along in the tourist season and come and have a coffee and cake, and they will then start browsing the shop and often go home with a basket full of goods. And that really helps, obviously, with the cash flow and all the economics of the shop. It just has become a total hub where people come and go and pass messages on, and we do so much more than just be a shop and a post office now.
In our original location, there were a lot of problems. First, of access. People that were in any way older or infirm had to manage to get up a spiral stair for 43 steps. There wasn't enough room. As things had grown, we'd filled up all the shelves anyway. And the actual conditions up in the cathedral, it's very cold. It actually dripped at times.
We had buckets full being withdrawn on humidifiers. To begin with, we were actually extracting daily.
In the winter, the natural temperature just went down with the outside temperature. So you could come in to try and work and it'd be -5.
Even in the summer, we were taking out water from that height and probably throwing it out of the window.
The trustees bought from Perth and Kinross Council the redundant toilets. So you can imagine the whole thing had to be completely stripped out. We applied to Heritage Lottery funding, and we applied to the local Griffin Wind Farm funding. We then got costs on the building and found there was quite a gap. And so we went to LEADER, and they were happy to fill in this gap once we'd got the final costings on the building. The builders were on site for about 6 months, and then the fitting out after that. For the collection itself, it's fantastic because it's not damp anymore, doesn't drip. You can control the humidity. As soon as if the outside is very humid, heating comes on. So for both the collection and the people, the conditions are now ideal. There isn't anywhere else in Dunkeld despite it being such a historic place that acts as a focus for giving information on the area. The research visits that we keep a log of are now well over 100. Some of that's actually people turning up, and that's also people accessing us on email. We've now got a presence on the Dunkeld and Burnham website, so people that are electronically trying to access us can do that for the first time, which has really increased the numbers on that front. And there's a much wider variety of local people. There was occasionally a few enthusiasts before, but the actual number of locals who'll just pop in, maybe ask about their house or just to have a look, which nobody did before, as you can imagine. There's been quite a big difference.
I had actually stopped working because I could no longer go up the stairs, and it's brought me and several others who perhaps could no longer climb the stairs back into work, and very pleasurable work. I enjoy it, and I missed it when I wasn't doing it.
Heartland FM.
And a very warm welcome to today, which is called Thursday. Telephone lines open now.
We used to be located in what was the curling rink, which used to be the old theatre premises. We were in what was the ticket office of the old theatre, which had been, in many ways, it was a temporary building in many ways. But we had been there for about 15 years, 16 years, something like that. And they had been earmarked for redevelopment. So we knew that we had to get out at some point. We were very lucky that we were able to identify this premises, but we needed to get from A to B, and moving, like everything, is costly, but moving a radio station without going off air is extremely costly, and we reckoned it was going to cost somewhere around about £35,000 to £40,000. We needed that money quite quickly. If Leader and Perth Council hadn't stepped in, then there would be no radio station. We have somewhere around about 35 to 40 presenters. We're all volunteers. We only have 2 paid positions, and both of those are part-time. One is a station manager position, and the other one is the sales position, but everyone else is a volunteer. Just not only presenters, but the backroom staff, the engineers, the Board of Governors, everybody's a volunteer. So it is very much embedded into the community. When we moved here, we bought some more equipment. We kind of upgraded from what we had to where we are now. It also allowed us to do some outreach work with some schools around the area, which in many ways was very successful, and raised the profile of the station as well. Working with schools always does that, and it raises the profile, plus also gives you a fresh stream of new young talent coming through as well. So it was kind of double-edged in that we got new premises, and we got a number of new presenters, young presenters coming along too. As a result of the whole process, from a period where we thought we weren't going to be existing at all because we'd nowhere to go, we're now looking to secure another premises in East Perthshire, where we can perhaps connect better with the wider community. We are Perthshire's only radio station, so therefore we feel that we are a perfect platform to go around and bang the drum to the rest of the world to let them hear how wonderful we are. So we stream 24/7 online as well as the various frequencies that we're on. So your granny can hear what you're up to when she lives in Australia. So it's a marvellous tool to be used, and I think that we just need to make sure that the community are aware of what we have and they grasp that tool and work well with it.
DD8 Music initially was set up by a group of young people in Kirriemuir who were music lovers and were forming bands themselves, and were just aware that there wasn't really any kind of structured activities in music in Kirrie, and they were keen to find a rehearsal space, effectively. That was kind of the initial driving force behind it. One of the initial challenges was finding a space to begin with. It took us actually quite a few years until we found this building. In the end, it turned out to be absolutely ideal because we've no neighbours round about us, so noise isn't an issue, which with recording studios obviously can be a big thing. So we soundproofed the building ourselves. and then equipped it. And obviously, and all that was made possible by the Leader. Without the Leader funding, it would have taken us forever to raise the kind of money to get set up initially.
I play guitar at DD8. I've been coming here for about 2.5, nearly 3 years now. It's great fun. It started off with a lot older guys and I was learning from them. But as they've moved on with their lives and younger people have been joining, I've been starting teaching them and helping them along with what they've been doing. Music is great fun to do. You don't have to be really good at it to enjoy it. But if you just mix with others and play instruments, it's just great fun.
The funding was absolutely essential in getting us set up and getting the building ready in the first place. But we're not relying on grant funding now. We are pretty much self-sufficient. We have the festivals that we run throughout the year generate enough income. We run the Bon Scott Festival, which celebrates Bon Scott, who was the original singer with AC/DC. That's been a huge success. We have people come from all over the world. I think last year we had people from America, Canada, Australia, and just pretty much every country in Europe as well came over for that. So that's fantastic for the town. It brings people in from all over. In addition to that, we run the Live in the Den Festival, which is a free festival every summer down in the park, which is great for the town. It brings people in from all over. And this year we're setting up a third festival, which we're starting in May, which again should, just get something happening regularly throughout the year. It's become a fantastic community facility. We're not just used by the young people that come in. We have adult bands that come in and use it for rehearsing. We have community groups that come in and use it for recording. We've had everything from bagpipes to poetry to spoken word stuff to be used in video presentations that we've had come in. We've got we've done link work with the high school as well. We've had high school kids coming down doing work in here. And there's almost limitless potential for the kind of the different projects we can do here, and it's growing all the time. It's great.
No one really judges you or makes fun of you for the way you dress, who you are, your hair colour, sexuality, race, what music taste you have. It's just a big embracing thing. It's quite good. It's a nice place with nice people.
It's the vision and dedication of local people and locally based organisations that made these projects happen. People have devoted a great deal of time and resources, often in a voluntary capacity, to achieve what they have set out to do, to make a difference and improve their communities for the benefit of all.